Gotta do, make sure these kids ball when I'm gone, you know what I'm saying? I work hard, so they deserve the ball. Then it's like, all this like, it ain't my flavor, it ain't my taste. Like I ain't with the going back and forth and like subbing. I'm a grown man with kids, I'm a boss. I don't believe in that, the social media and like doing comments and going back and forth, man. I'm grown, man. I'm a boss. I ain't on that. I ain't never been on that my whole career. You ain't never seen me going up just trying to be on some messy girl shit. That'd be for the girls. Like, I'm a player, I ain't going that way.
Footage just leaked online, supposedly showing Offset getting pressed by Lil Baby's 4PF crew, and this clip is blowing the lid off way more than a parking lot scuffle. Behind this viral moment is a quiet clash that's been bubbling for years, ever since a dice game with 42 Doug at QC Studios took a wrong turn. Ever since that night, folks been whispering that Offset got his pockets checked and embarrassed, while Lil Baby hopped online yelling fake news to shut the whole story down. That same grainy parking lot video keeps popping up on everybody's feed, and every time it resurfaces, the internet acts like it's brand new, going wild all over again. It shows somebody getting chased down, overwhelmed, and stripped to their boxers outside an Atlanta spot, and that alone was enough to send social media into meltdown. One side swears that's Offset getting handled by 4PF. The other side says the clip is completely misinterpreted. But here's the wild twist. It don't even matter if it's real or not, because the rumor grew bigger than the footage itself. It turned into one of Atlanta's most talked about rap stories, a legend that refuses to fade.
Issues with Offset and QC.
No matter how many times people try to debunk it. And here's what everybody misses. This wasn't just some random clip. This situation got real history behind it.
Started a long time ago.
Dice tension, label drama, street politics, and major contract issues all colliding at once. Whether that person in the footage is Offset or not, his reputation already took a hit online, and folks got their version locked in tight. To really understand how this whole mess started, we gotta rewind to when quality control was running Atlanta like a dynasty. This was peak QC era. Migos on top, Lil Baby
from what I was hearing,
exploding, and Coach K and P moving like the city's power players. On the surface, everything looked like family, smiles, hits, and celebration.
Music shit for my fans and my people, man. Feed my kids, man. And you know, sometimes people don't want you to sprout and grow, you know what I mean? And be a boss and own yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere. Offset and Lil Baby were both under the QC umbrella, both repping Atlanta heavy, both stacking serious money. The label was throwing parties, popping champagne, acting like everything was smooth. But behind those studio doors, the politics were getting real chaotic. Offset was locked in a heated battle with QC over his contract. He wanted out. He wanted ownership. He wanted full control of his masters. And anybody who knows the music game knows that's when everything—
Leave the dice game. Offset wasn't going for it. He went outside. We two dug out a bunch of money in both his pockets. You know, he got skinny jeans on, so both out his pockets. Offset didn't take too kind him walking away from the dice game when it was Offset dice. He was hitting 20,000.
Thing gets tense because labels don't just let a top artist walk away easy when the money's still flowing. Lawyers got involved, meetings fell apart, and Offset basically found himself in a quiet war with the same machine that helped launch his career. And while all that was going down, another situation was bubbling under the radar, something that most folks didn't even know existed yet. Something that would eventually blow the story wide open. Here's where it gets wild. This next part came straight from the mouth of Wack 100 himself, and say what you want about Wack, but he really was present for this moment, so his words gotta be heard. So here's what Wack said really went down. According to him, there was a—
When we got there, Offset was like 25,000 in the Doug pockets. By the time I come back 30, 45 minutes later, Doug is 25,000 in Offset's pockets. Now it's Offset's dice, right? And he said the 1,000 a shot, 5,000. Doug said running, Offset hit 7. Nigga, let's go another 5. He hit again, 11. He 10 back. He only got about 10, 15 of his money on the ground.
Private dice game happening inside QC Studios. Not a club, not a party, literally right there in the workspace where everything's supposed to stay professional. But once money and pride hit the table, the whole vibe can flip quick. Wack claimed he saw everything with his own eyes. Offset and 42 Doug were locked into a heavy gambling run, thousands on each roll, real high-stakes energy. At first, it was regular studio talk, jokes flying, everybody acting cool.
Doug picks his money up and walks away. So Offset was caught in disbelief that He was kind of still down with the dice. He's looking around and like, did this motherfucker just grab the money off the floor? Offset jumps up and trails behind him. Offset walks right up and Doug's walking away from him, grabs his left pocket. It's money bulging out of it. He didn't take the money out of his pocket, right? I don't know if he was attempting to take it or he was just trying to turn him around or what it was. Nevertheless, Doug ends up turning around. When he turned around, Offset fired
in the face.
Right.
But the tension was sitting right under the surface waiting to explode. Then the shift happened. 42. Doug started taking serious losses, and when he tried to step away, Offset wasn't trying to hear it. He wanted him to keep playing, run it back, whatever it took. And that's when the room got icy fast. Voices went up, people got in each other's faces, and according to Wack's version, Offset even got physical with Doug. Wack described it like a one-on-one moment about to turn into something way bigger before folks jumped in to break it apart. And later, Wack said that if he didn't step in that night, that man would have been in real danger, which is a wild claim to put out publicly. That's not a small statement at all. That's suggesting the whole situation could have gone to an extreme over a dice game. And here's where everything connects. 42 Doug isn't just a random artist Offset had tension with. Doug is tight with Lil Baby, like locked in tight. He's part of that whole 4PF circle. And in street circles, when you clash with one member of the crew, you're basically clashing with the entire lineup. That's how loyalty moves in this game. Once a line gets crossed, everybody remembers. So even though that dice game moment got broken up and folks walked away, the tension stuck around like a cloud. Everybody in that studio could feel something had shifted. The respect wasn't the same, and people in the streets swear that Dice Night became the quiet spark behind the viral footage everyone still argues about today. But that was only the warm-up. What came next is what truly sent the whole internet into meltdown. A few months later, hip-hop woke up to headlines so wild it felt unreal. Every big blog, academics, The Shade Room, Say Cheese, started posting the same story. Offset got pressed by 4PF outside an Atlanta spot and ended up stripped to his boxers. Bro, the internet lost its mind. Instagram was blowing up, Twitter turned into chaos, and Facebook pages kept reposting it non-stop like it was breaking news every 5 minutes. The whole timeline turned into one giant rumor storm. At the center of all that madness was one shaky piece of footage. The grainy parking lot clip we've all seen a million times. You know exactly which one. Shot from way across the lot, on a phone camera that looks like it came from 2005, shaking like someone was running while filming. You can see a group chasing somebody through the parking lot. You can see clothes getting yanked off. You can see someone getting handled and surrounded. But here's what you cannot see. The actual face of the person in the middle of it, and that's the part that trips me out every time. The video quality was straight terrible. The angle was too far, the lighting was weak, and not a single frame showed a clear face. Even Reddit threads at the time were saying nobody actually knew who the person was. But by the time that tiny detail reached the internet, it didn't matter anymore. The story was already locked in. The caption said it was Offset, so folks swore it was Offset. The blog said it was 4PF, so suddenly it was definitely 4PF. Just like that, a blurry clip of an unidentified person turned into proof that one of Atlanta's biggest artists got caught slipping by a rival camp. That's how fast misinformation spreads online. One rumor becomes a fact in minutes. Then the internet switched into full detective mode, connecting dots that might not even belong together. And here's where things really took off. Around the same time that footage hit timelines, fans noticed something on social media. Offset unfollowed Lil Baby on Instagram. And not just Baby, he unfollowed QC Boss P too. In hip-hop, when major artists unfollow each other, that's basically a digital warning shot. It's the modern version of dropping a diss without even touching a mic. So when fans saw those unfollows happening at the same exact time the footage was blowing up, they created their own equation. Viral footage plus Instagram unfollows equals confirmed beef. Within hours, the story went from alleged incident to verified drama in the court of public opinion. Nobody cared that the person in the video wasn't clearly identifiable. Nobody cared that neither side publicly confirmed anything. The story felt real, and on the internet, that's all it takes for something to blow up. Once people believed it, they treated it like the truth with no hesitation. Then the digging started. Folks dragged the old dice game situation with 42 Doug back into the spotlight. They brought up Offset's contract battles with QC and how that might have created tension behind the scenes. People started breaking down every Instagram story, every post, every interview like they were searching for hidden messages. The whole situation turned into a giant conspiracy that kept growing day after day. And the more folks talked about it, the more real it felt, even though nobody had actual proof of anything. Lil Baby didn't sit quiet either. He jumped on Instagram fast, trying to shut the whole thing down before it went any further. He called the story fake news, begged blogs to stop pushing it, and denied every single part of it. Watching his response, you could tell he was frustrated that people believe something with zero confirmed facts. But here's the problem with the internet. Once a rumor builds momentum, denying it barely does anything. People run with whatever fits the story they already believe in, especially when the rumor is entertaining and lines up with tension they were already guessing about. And in this case, everything lined up too perfectly for fans to ignore. Offset battling with QC, the dice game tension with 42 Doug, the mysterious parking lot footage, the Instagram unfollowed. All those little pieces lined up in a way that made the rumor feel more real than the denial itself. And let's be honest, when your denial becomes a headline too, that sometimes makes the internet even more convinced something happened. People start thinking, why would he respond this hard if it wasn't true? The internet works backwards like that for real. And after all that chaos, guess what happened next? Nothing. Just complete silence for years. Think about it. Offset and Lil Baby used to be label brothers, two major names rising out of Atlanta at the same exact time. In a normal situation, you'd expect collabs, interviews together, showing up at each other's events, something that shows unity. But after that whole situation, none of that happened. No collab tracks, no photos together, no public link-ups, nothing at all. Offset stayed focused on his solo lane and his contract tension with QC, while Lil Baby built 4PF into one of the most respected teams in hip-hop, dropping hits and signing new talent. But that quiet distance between them spoke louder than any statement ever could. Anybody paying attention could see it. These two weren't cool anymore, and whatever happened behind the scenes wasn't getting fixed anytime soon. And through all of it, that mystery footage just kept floating around the internet, getting reposted every few months like a ghost story. It kept the rumor alive even though neither artist ever addressed it directly. The clip became part of Atlanta rap folklore, sitting there, waiting for the perfect moment to explode back into the spotlight. And that moment finally came when Lil Baby dropped new music with some wild bars that made everybody stop and listen. In his newer tracks, Baby started talking about a rapper who got stripped, robbed, and almost lost everything after clashing with one of Baby's people. He never said Offset's name. That's not how subliminals work in hip-hop. But the details in the story, the timing, the way he worded it, fans connected it to the dice game drama with 42 Doug and that mysterious parking lot footage instantly. Suddenly, Facebook pages were back to breaking down every lyric like detectives. Twitter was connecting dots like they were on payroll. Instagram comments were flooding in fast, with people saying he was definitely talking about Offset. Just a few bars brought the rumor back to life like it never left. And here's the wild part. This is the same Lil Baby who once called that footage fake news. The same guy who begged the blogs to stop spreading the rumor years ago. But now he's dropping bars that sound like the exact same situation he tried to shut down before. That contradiction had fans confused all over again. People started asking real questions. If nothing ever happened, why rap about it now? If it was fake news back then, why bring it back up today? Was the denial for public image while the streets knew something different? Those subliminals brought the whole story back from the dead stronger than ever, and the internet ran with it like it was brand new. So here's where everything stands today, and this is the real talk people need to hear. Offset and Lil Baby still haven't shown any public unity. No collabs, no link-ups, no standing side-by-side at events, not even a quick acknowledgement in interviews when Atlanta rap gets brought up. The distance is real, and anybody paying attention can see it loud and clear. And every single time that old footage pops back up, which happens every few months like clockwork when someone rediscovered it, or whenever Baby drops a line that sounds even slightly specific, the whole storyline comes crashing back into the spotlight. Comments go crazy, blogs reposted instantly, and the whole debate starts fresh like it just happened yesterday. Now let me keep it real for a second, because this part matters. Whether Offset actually got pressed by 4P or whether this whole situation turned into a legend that grew way bigger than the truth, at this point the facts almost don't matter anymore. That's the part most people don't want to admit. In today's social media world, your reputation isn't just built on what you actually do. It's built on what the internet believes you did. And once the public locks into a story, pulling that narrative back is almost impossible. So drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this with somebody who needs the rundown, and I'll see you on the next one.